Hello and good morning to everybody. I'm John Bradley. I was felt compelled to do an amateur in the bag video. I don't have a membership to the PDGA or anything like that. I'm just a local player, passionate about the game. So kind of want to talk through my bag and some of the disc choices that I made, kind of some of the shots that I can do with the disc that I carry, and just kind of give all those YouTubers out there just a different perspective into somebody else's who's not a professional and just likes to play the game, to kind of see what variety of discs they throw. So without further ado, I'll get into my putters. I play these Invaders. That's what I've been putting with. I was throwing the Bullfrog before that, so a little bit more glide. What I like about these is the grip that you can get on them. They're flat, so it doesn't really matter where your thumb position is, it always feels the same. It's flat, even if you're throwing it. And I like to throw these on Anheuser's. They're pretty flippy, but you can still get some good glide out of them, but you can just get some pretty cool angles out of them. Even though they're only a 1 stability, they, you can, with good form, you can get some pretty cool lines out of them. And when I putt with them, I pretty much putt straight on, maybe a slight Anheuser, and I just throw, just depending on how far away I am, be a little bit more Anheuser, so it just kind of gets that nice easy sit, a little bit nose up. They just kind of drift in, they don't really blow past the basket. So I also carry one in Luster, a little bit more stability, and this is kind of my thrower. Anheuser lines, I don't do any hyzer, don't really do any hyzer flips or anything like that. Maybe get 250, 270 out of it with a flip up, which I rarely do. But then again, like I said, I throw these pretty much for Anheisers. I bag a Toro. This thing is awesome. I have a pretty big forehand, so that's one of the things I like about it. It's real torque resistant. I can kind of get it out, just bang this thing out, get some that same 270 distance, get some pretty cool like big pan shots out of it. But it's been a pretty sweet staple to my bag. So it's kind of a putter, kind of mid-range, somewhere in between, but a really great utility disc. Get you a Toro. All right, get into mid-ranges. I got a Star Croc. It's kind of my utility mid-range. Great for forehands, great for backhands. I can get this thing, somewhere around the 300-foot range, but I can really trust it into a headwind. It may give me I'm in North Texas, so we got lots of wind around here. 20-mile-an-hour headwind. Bang this thing as hard as I can, forehand, and it'll just kind of maybe hold straight for a little bit and then finish with that nice easy fade. I don't really have a whole lot of mid-ranges right now. I'm looking for something in my stable slot, but I do bag 2 Mako 3s. This one is pretty much new. This one is a little bit less stable than this one, but I use these things for long turnover shots. Something where I need some glide, need that turn. You can kind of flip them up to flat and get a little bit of turn out of them, or hit them flat and they'll offer you pretty good turn. I can throw these things probably, anywhere from the 340, 350, maybe a little bit further, if the wind's right. But I like these Mako 3s. They're really pretty versatile. They're not, I wouldn't say they're a point and shoot, because if you rip one hard on a hyzer, they will turn up, but like those nice, easy finesse shots, hit it on hyzer, it's gonna finish on hyzer. Throw it flat, it'll turn a little bit, or you can get it for like some big sweeping Anheisers. With the right wind, you can really get these things to ride pretty far to the right. So pretty cool disc. Get you a Mako, it'll help you check your form. I like them a lot. I got an honorable mention, Chariot. I just won this for closest to the pin. Actually, my partner had a doubles tournament. He won this, so I haven't thrown it yet, but I'm looking for something that's got a little bit more stability than the Mako. Get into my fairway drivers. I bagged 2 Leopard 3s. This one's kind of, slightly worn in a little bit. This one has a little bit more stability, but then again, it's kind of the same as the Mako for me, just a little bit longer. Hit this thing flat, get some turn, you know, really powered up, hyzer flip, get some turn out of it. But a pretty cool, unique disc, and these things can go pretty far too. They can kind of shock you how far they go, you know, the right line. But bagged 2 of them, pretty cool discs. Get into my understable fairway drivers. I bag a Roadrunner for rollers, and a Sidewinder for rollers as well. Sometimes with the tailwind, I'll hyzer flip these things up and just kind of get them to ride. But forehand rollers, same thing. Most of my discs I bag are pretty much max weight, but this is a 163 Roadrunner, so it's a pretty short. I can like forehand this thing, pretty much rip it as hard as I can flat, and I know it's going to finish left. So kind of another utility disc, but then again, you know, pretty much everybody uses these things as for rollers. But thrown right, tailwind, you can get some of the longest shots I've thrown have been with these air shots. So all right, get into the control drivers. I bag a healthy stack here. I bag 3 T-Birds, T-Bird 3s. This is the most stable. This is kind of medium stability, and then this is the most understable T-Bird that I have. I can pretty much know that I can rip this one as hard as I can flat. It may get a little bit of turn for me, but I know it's going to finish left. I don't really forehand them a whole lot just because I bag Firebirds, but I got a Paul Macbeth Metal Flake and a Star. So if I need something that needs to finish right, you know, I can bang this thing out flat, even into a little bit of a headwind, or hit it with the Anheuser. I know it's just pretty much going to pan to flat. So these are pretty great discs. You can throw them forehand. They are kind of torque resistant, but you got to have that good form. But love the T-Birds. You can get some sweet lines out of them. They feel really good in the hand. They got decent glide, 8402, but I like the T-Birds, pretty good. They feel good. So, all right. A little bit longer than the T-Bird. I got the Big Germ Thunderbird. I think this is like a 2016 maybe, but flight is pretty much just like a T-Bird, maybe a little bit. I can squeeze probably 400 foot of distance out of this thing. Pretty trustworthy, even into a little bit of a mild wind. Just, you know that's going to turn a little bit more. But Star Plastic feels great. It'll hold that Anheuser line back end. I don't really forehand this a whole lot. Like I said, I bag a couple Firebirds. So yeah, big Germ Thunderbird. Honorable mention, I got this C-Line CD1. I won. Same thing as the Chariot, closest to the pin my partner hit. I'm hoping it's going to be kind of really similar to that Thunderbird. It has a -1 turn versus the 0 turn on the Thunderbird, but it's got a pretty cool stamp. Back when Simon and what's the kid from Boulder, Colorado's name? Anywho, got the Crush Boys stamp on there, so I thought it was pretty cool. I'll give it a shot, see how she flies. Bag 2 Firebirds. I got a Nate Sexton, which flies like a beat-in Firebird, and then I have this flat top Star. So, love the Firebirds. Forehand them, backhand them, however you want to hand them. They'll get it done for you. Overstable. Still overstable. You can rip this thing into a headwind, and it'll get a little turn, but it's going to finish. So, I bagged 2 of those guys. If you don't have a Firebird, great utility disc for people just starting out. Great disc for anybody. All right, kind of a utility disc. I bag a Star Monster. Like I said, most everything I throw is max weight, but this guy's a 168. And that was the only one they had whenever I bought it at the time. But this thing is a meat hook. You know, it's losing, it's kind of getting a little seasoned, but it is still more overstable than a Firebird. Rip this thing flat, any wind, doesn't matter. I'm still gonna get a big skip, no turn, and just a great, you can get it up high, Anheuser, and it's gonna kind of pan out or even flex out of that shot. So you can get some pretty cool lines out of it. Always trust it, into the wind, doesn't matter. Monster. All right, get into my distance driver slot. I kind of bag several destroyers. I just kind of cleaned up my destroyer line. I haven't really bagged as many as I used to, but I've got Paul Macbeth destroyer. She's kind of beat in, your typical destroyer, you know, perfect dome, feels great in the hand. but she's starting to lose a little bit of stability, get a little bit more turn. I have this Infinite Disc Destroyer stamp. It's a pretty meaty, like a nude champion. It's it offers, you know, I'm gonna get a little bit of turn into a win, but I know it's still gonna finish. I've got a Calvin Heimberg Halo Destroyer. One of my friends gave it to me. It's the most overstable destroyer bag. I can trust it into the wind. I may get a little bit of a turn out of it, but I know it's pretty much gonna fade however I throw it. Rip it forehand, 400 foot. It's awesome, same backhand. I can flex it to 400, so maybe a little bit more if I have a good angle. But yeah, bag 3 destroyers. Kind of my, I've been trying out this Charger, one of the longest air throws I've thrown. I can get this thing almost 450, trying to work on my form. But it flies in, it flies like my beat-in destroyer. It doesn't quite have as much turn as that thing, but it also doesn't have as much fade. So I know I rip it up high, flat, a little bit Anheuser. I'm gonna get a lot of turn out of it, and then it'll just kind of straighten out at the end. I got a Star Strike. This thing is pretty understable, but I can rip it out big, Anheuser, lots of Heiser, flip it, turn over, and it'll just pretty much pan out. I'm hoping that I can kind of get it beat in and it can be like one of my longer rollers, but it's a pretty cool disc. It feels good. Got a little bit more dome than the Destroyer, a little bit less stable, but if I have a little bit of a tailwind or something, I know I can still rip this thing out Heiser as hard as I can. I'm still going to get that turn out of it and still get it to go. So thanks for watching. Just wanted to give you guys an amateur perspective in the bag and kind of the things I carry. I got a couple holes in my bag I need to fill, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for your time.